So you've watched my Coffee 101, the differences in coffee waves, and you're now aware of what the different waves of coffee are, right? Right? Good. Well, in that video, I promised that I would show you how to find a good coffee shop in part 2. This is part 2. We're going to look for good coffee shops in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Pretty exciting, right? I mean, could there possibly be any good coffee shops in a small city like this? Well, we're gonna find out. Just to recap, I don't want gas station or grocery store coffee, which would be considered first wave, and I'm not looking at Starbucks, Dunkin', Tim Hortons, any of those types because those are second wave. Remember, we're looking for third wave craft coffee shops, ones that maybe are roasters or that just use fair trade coffee beans. So we're looking for a nice niche type of coffee and practices third wave techniques. A really simple way you know you're in the right place is if they serve pour over. All right, here we go. So it seems reasonable to just type in coffee into Google Maps, right? Don't do that. If you type in coffee, you're just going to see all of the second wave shops. You're gonna get dominated by Starbucks and Dunkin' or anything similar to that. You might even get some other junk like grocery stores and, Starbucks is half the time in a grocery store. And then you're going to get, a bunch of gas stations. Like especially in really small areas where there aren't third wave shops, you're definitely gonna get everything you don't want. One thing I've learned to do is simply type in espresso. So all of a sudden you see that Starbucks has mostly disappeared from this list, even though they do serve espresso. But the best part about typing in espresso instead of coffee is that all of the first wave options pretty much disappear when you do that. Now you might still have things like Starbucks, and you can see here like Big B coffee showing up when you type in espresso, but you are a lot closer to finding what we're trying to find. Now the problem with finding good coffee is that third wave shops tend to be close to city centers. That's changing, but one thing I will say is that there are almost never any good craft shops at like the edge of town or deep in the suburbs. I think the reason is that those areas are too much of a passerby point, meaning people are too in a hurry to stop yet. They're just not stopping. So let's keep looking here. What do we have? Okay, there's a whole bunch of stuff. Now the city center is gonna be kind of around this area. So let's just kind of zoom in and we'll search again. Okay, so you'll notice that there's kind of a cluster here as opposed to the wider area. Well, in the case of Fort Wayne, that's actually downtown. So as I start clicking on some of these and scrolling through the images, I want to see latte art. That's the biggest thing that you're looking for. And in those review images, you want it to seem like regular people took pictures of the latte art, because that means it's real and not just promotional. As in, do they do latte art for everyone all the time? Because latte art is a fantastic way to tell if they care about what they're doing and if they take the time to do it. And that's because it means that speed isn't the only thing that matters. They're probably practicing the craft. Another big thing you're looking for is the type of equipment that they're using in the shop. So you want to find equipment such as nice large espresso machines. So latte art, again, that's a good sign. But again, on the counter, you're looking for maybe a big espresso machine, something that says maybe La Marzocco or Slayer or MVP Hydra, something like that, or something that just looks really cool. So in this picture, we see a couple grinders. You want to look for grinders as well. They have hoppers on top. This is probably a nice grinder. It looks like a Malkoneg, which is the brand name. Now, if you don't see a big espresso machine on the counter, but you see something like this or like these are what's called mod bar. It's just a different style of espresso machine. It's a different setup. You basically just have the espresso shots being pulled out of these kind of fountain spouts, and the rest of the machine is below under the counter, which is just a more aesthetic and, I don't know, just kind of a cool look. So you're in pretty good shape if you see those. That means they're probably pulling good shots again, as well as the grinders. You might want to look also for like a big grinder like this. Again, you're just looking for a sense of the equipment that they're using and that it's not just some weird looking, whatever, black box or something. Let's just kind of go for it. So I'm gonna first look at, let's see, this one, Forteza Coffee. This looks modern and chic, so that's cool. Just scrolling through the pictures, we have latte art immediately, so that's a great sign. All right, so they're definitely using mod bar, so that's a great sign there. They have what looks to be a couple good grinders out on the counter as well. So yeah, this is definitely a shop that I would try out. We can try another one. Let's see, Penny Drip sounds fun. What about this? That's a cool ceiling. Latte art, that's a great sign. Looks like they probably do other things besides just coffee, and that's okay. Here's a big shot of it, and look, they have mod bars. So again, they're pulling probably some really good shots out of those, and then they have what looks to be a good, actually, just a couple different grinders on the counter as well. So we're good here to try this shop out. Conjure, this looks very chic. Looks like they have some good food. Okay, it looks like they probably have mod bar as well. This has roaster, so that's a good sign. And that looks fantastic. So that alone is like a sign that I'm probably okay to go try them out. If you see a few pictures of that, it means that they're doing it regularly and that they care. This is a pour over, maybe some nitro. Okay, so here we go, mod bar. Beautiful setup, there's the espresso coming out. So I would definitely try this shop. Let's just look a little further out from downtown. Let's try Firefly Coffee. Okay, there's a smoothie. The inside looks fun, a little cozy, a little quirky. Some cool art maybe, but whipped cream's not a great sign for third wave. So if you ever see like 30 syrups behind the counter, especially ones from a brand called Torani, that's not a great sign. Some craft shops will make their own syrups, which is super cool. Usually there's only a few of them. And then other shops really don't have any syrups. They might have honey or like a simple syrup, but the idea is that like the espresso is good enough by itself that you don't need to cover or mask it up. And I know it's a matter of preference, but be aware that some third wave shops don't even carry syrups. Most of them have something, especially like house-made, but some don't. I've been surprised a couple times earlier on. I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. This to me looks like a second wave shop, so nothing wrong with that. This is just not really what I'm looking for. I would say this would be a great local alternative to Starbucks or something like that, something fun and different, so you don't have to just go to Starbucks. So there was one other one I thought I saw, I drove by, it's called Mocha Lounge, I think. It's like there's a couple of them. So this is a really bad sign. When you see like blended chocolatey drinks like this, third wave shops don't make stuff like that, okay? They just don't. So this is a bad sign. When you pop the lid off of a cup, it should have latte art. It doesn't matter if you're taking your latte to go. If it's a solid shop, they're doing the latte art even when they're putting the lid on it. That's just the way it is, okay? They're just focused on the quality and the craft of every drink. And that's a real thing. And it's not like, oh, I'm just being picky. That's what third wave shops do, all of them. Overall, there's a lot of options here in Fort Wayne. Fort Wayne's a city that's only about 270,000 people. It's pretty impressive to have a handful of third wave shops near the city center. Again, as you span out further, you're going to get into second wave shops, and then if you really go along the interstate, you're going to get first wave. You're going to be at the gas stations. City centers are typically where the good stuff's at. Yeah, it's a pain to go in there and get to it if you're traveling by, but it's worth it, I think, if you want to get a really great cup of coffee. Again, it's not all about lattes, okay? So they're using really good beans. They're grinding precisely. They're getting the best cup of coffee, regardless of what style you're going with. So yeah, to recap what we did was we typed in espresso instead of coffee into Google Maps. You're looking for latte art, number one, that's the best sign. You're also looking for equipment. You want to see if they have a nice big espresso machine on the counter and some good grinders, or the mod bar setup where you have just those spouts on the counter. All right, so what do you think? Is this helpful? I just like coffee a lot, so in my journey, I was looking for a better experience, and I hope that this helps you find a better experience as well. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.